Chairperson, the marker of success for Parliament should never just be about the number of plenary sessions held, the frequency of public meetings, which are often hijacked by political parties who bust their supporters in, or even the amount of times that ministers come to read their responses to prepared questions in the House. It has to be more than that. The task is far greater for two reasons. One, South Africa has a painful history of racial segregation, which was legislated for in this very parliament. Parliament under apartheid, the apartheid government rubber-stamped the most abhorrent laws against Black South Africans. This shows you how powerful, for good or for bad, their institution can be. The second and perhaps the most urgent reason is the situation that South Africa finds itself in. It requires a legislature that is up to the task. Abantu abanemisebenzi in their millions, over 50% yabantu bahleli phansi kwemeko yenhlupheko, abantu abakhuselekanga kwindawo abahlala kuzo. Simane sisiva i-crime statistics ezothusayo okwingathi ayingobantu aba babulawayo okanye badlwengulayo. Yonke lento yenzeka phansi kohulumende ophethwe ngumbutho okuzimisele ukubhukuqana belwela izikhundla. Uhulumende who has presided over the greatest money heist under state capture since the dawn of democracy. All of these things require a parliament that doesn't relegate itself to simply being a captive audience for the executive when they bother to show up. The task is greater, the work is urgent, and it is incredibly important. While the institution has managed its finances well and obtained a clean audit and clean audit outcomes, the yardstick for its effectiveness, Madam Speaker, lies with the people. Even as Parliament lies in ruins after the devastating fire earlier this year, the work of the two houses cannot depend on the existence of two buildings. In fact, now is the time to intensify our efforts to get Parliament working. Now is the time to rebuild both figuratively and literally. Many have said that the fire that gutted the Houses of Parliament is the true reflection of the state of the institution after it has been hollowed out over decades. Did the teeth of Parliament have been plucked out systemically and left a shell that has so much unused potential? The drafters of the Constitution and the rules of Parliament imagined an institution that would have the muscle to deal with the most pressing issues of the day. We have been equipped with oversight mechanisms such as the Rules Committee, parliamentary inquiries, the capacity to draft laws that will benefit the people of the country we are meant to serve. However, over the past 10 years, Parliament has passed 40 bills which were brought before it by ordinary members versus the 312 bills which were brought by the executive. This signals a crisis, not of capacity, but of political will. A functional parliament would jump swiftly to deal with the findings of the Zondo Commission. Having failed to prevent the looting of billions of public money, we should make sure that those who are guilty of this crime are held to account. We should not have a chair of chairs in Mr. Cedric Frolic, who has serious allegations hanging over his head for his role in state capture, still actively presiding over the work of Parliament until he is cleared. We should act with speed to demand answers from President Ramaphosa regarding the millions of rands that were found on his property. Questions about how this much money was allowed to be stored on a farm, how a suspect accused of theft was dealt with outside of the criminal justice system, and whether SARS is aware of this money are questions which should be coming from this House. No sitting president should simply go about his business and Parliament sits idly. We should be summoning the Minister of Police, Begitsela, to come and account for the skyrocketing crime statistics in our country. The bloodbath in our communities is something that this House should concern itself with. The institution should lead. I'm glad, Minister, that you are here and you are listening to it, because it's not a laughing matter. This institution should lead the charge against the fight against poverty and unemployment. The very people who sent us here to represent them are suffering under the crushing pressure of a cost of living crisis and rising joblessness. The solutions to grow the economy and cushion South Africans against global factors must be coming from this House. Sound financial management of Parliament will never make up for the lackluster attitude of MPs towards the work that ought to be done. The institution can run as smoothly as it wants, and still South Africans will be left wondering, where are the elected representatives? Where are they representing us? This is why this budget process, Madam Speaker, cannot just simply be another tick box exercise embedded in the parliamentary calendar. This is why that I implore all of you that we need to put party political interests aside when it comes to the work that we do here. Let us approach issues of accountability and government delivery as a united parliament so that we can have some hope of being able to rescue South Africa from the clutches of ruin. The oath that we took, the oath of office that each and every one of us here took, requires us to be able to put those political differences aside. And when we walk through those doors, that we make sure that we are here and we're here to represent the people of South Africa, and that we approach the work that is meant to be done here with the amount of impartiality that we need. Thank you.